Texas Senator John Cornyn joins me now to talk about this. Sir, your state, you know a lot about this problem. It's so sad, and these open border lunatic ideologues will ignore anything, death, rape, whatever it is, anything before they'll admit that their ideals on immigration are misguided.
Well, I keep asking myself, what's it going to take? 7 million border encounters, including 1.5 million gotaways, people who obviously are trying to evade law enforcement, either because of their criminal records or they're smuggling drugs. 108,000 Americans died from drug overdoses last year, including 71,000 from fentanyl alone. We know where it comes from, and it comes from Mexico with precursors imported from China. And then these 300,000 children who've been accepted and placed with sponsors by the Biden administration. The Biden administration can't tell you where they are, what they're doing, whether they're going to school, whether they're being adequately fed, their medical needs attended to, or whether they're forced into involuntary labor, sex trafficked, recruited into gangs. They just can't tell you. And the 85,000 figure that you mentioned earlier, the protocols of the Department of Health and Human Services say they're supposed to call the sponsor 30 days after the child is placed with that sponsor. But in the 85,000 instances, there was no answer and no follow-up by the administration.
It's so baffling. It's so enraging to see the reality of this. The administration, the Department of Justice, seemed to have scrubbed the website that they have of any mention of child sex trafficking. They just scrubbed it. If this doesn't open people's eyes to just how sinister and disturbing American politics has become, I don't think anything will.
Well, we saw two investigative stories by the New York Times, which is no friend of conservative causes, but where they documented the fact that a number of these children have been forced in involuntary servitude, forced labor, in violation of child labor laws. So extensive investigation by the New York Times. They said that whistleblowers had notified Susan Rice, the domestic policy advisor, at least the former one, people like Xavier Becerra, the Secretary of Homeland Security, and the Secretary of Labor. But they were discouraged from reporting because this got in the way of their public relations campaign to try to reduce the number of people at the border and to expedite their movement into the United States without caring, obviously, for the welfare of these children.
Well, they don't care about anybody. It's very obvious in this. They don't care about anybody, anything except their own political agenda. Senator Cornyn, we appreciate you coming on, helping us expose this problem. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.